Да, Юль, спасибо.
Thank you, Julia.
Сейчас мы
We're going to continue, and right now I'm going to speak about discovery of threats and reacting to those threats and solving XDR class. There's X5, X7, and there's XDR.
поговорим мы вместе с бизнес-лидером
And we're going to speak with business leader on XDR, Yegor Nazarov,
Кириллом Черкинским, менеджером по развитию.
and Kirill Cherkinsky, development manager from Positive Technologies.
Дадим определение.
Okay, let's give a definition to the terminology. What do you mean by XDR?
Смотри, XDR изначально,
Well, XDR,
если смотреть с концепции позитив, он
looking from the positive technology concept side,
слово extended, то есть расширенное,
XDR means extended discovery and
множество инструментариев,
reaction and response,
там, решения, комплекс, цепочки.
complex, chain, or whatever.
Это должно
It's extended. X means extended.
реагирование и детектирование.
And also response.
Несколько решений,
So we have several solutions in this concept which help the client to see the picture together, to react on it,
детектировать,
and detect and react.
разбираться, да, а можно сдетектировать и
You can detect and then react in a sequence, something like that.
Множество решений, это не один.
So it's a number of solutions. This is not one product. Yes, in any concept that would be developed by us or other players, we were able to see that solutions should include a number of products, techniques, tactics, methodologies, and everything else. So this is not one solution. It's a complex solution that we utilize.
Какие практические
Кирилл,
задачи этот комплекс?
which practical goals can be solved by this XDR complex? Well, the spectrum is really wide. As Igor said already, it's a discovery and response. And if we speak about the response, it can be done immediately because we didn't have an agent solution previously, which would allow us to enrich our discoveries by the context that can be brought from the workstation server and from the endpoints, because this content has a lot of useful information which has to be investigated after discovery of those incidents. And also it allows us to have a big number of threat hunting possibilities. You can look retrospectively how the attack was developing, what it has started from, and maybe discover some facts.
Решения входят.
Which solution types are included into the XDR? You've mentioned endpoint, but can you list the whole spectrum from the market point of view? Well, it was already defined. The market was defining the set of solutions, but not the vendors have decided how many solutions will be included. But speaking about complex, we need everything, the WAV and monitoring solution for the industrial systems, and detection on the level of networking activity, detection on the level of nodes, and everything else. So the whole XDR complex should include everything, including CDM and data and informational leaks, threat intelligence, and, well, depending on which vendor was manufacturing this solution and how the market was taking it, this context did work. For somebody, it was the sandbox plus agent solution. For the other one, it was network solution plus agent solution.
точках должно было быть
But the reaction should be happening on the endpoints. And Kirill was mentioning
конечных точек. То мы его, естественно, ввели в линейку,
we have introduced it into the product portfolio,
чтобы
and we have created the field
решение
to make a complex XDR solution on the basis of CM, sandbox, not a WAF, IC.
Расшифруем, да.
Okay, let's speak about these complicated terms.
Определение, что такое
There's no single definition of what is XDR on the market. Well, this is the extended discovery and response. This is a single explanation understood by clients, partners, and everybody else. Well, from the point of view of realization of this solution, everyone moves in this direction, and how people perceive what is the main idea of this extended discovery and response. As for the positive, it's a security incidents
то, что
and threat response. Yeah, the basic CM, everything which helps you to see the incidents in the infrastructure. Yes, all the attacks. then it's a sandbox, something that allows you to go in the sandbox because you cannot discover those malicious codes without sandbox. You need to understand what kind of malicious code, you understand, you model its behavior in the sandbox, which is not helping it to get outside. What else do we have? Discovery means in the network nodes, network attack discovery, network traffic, yes, EDR component, which reacts to the endpoints and helps us to launch and stop the processes and move the files and discover file. So endpoint, this is what are we going to speak about. And of course, we are connecting threat intel. It's
Security.
cyber intelligence security.
Платформа, которая позволяет еще от...
It's a platform which helps to IOC feeds YARS and collect them in one place. IOC feeds and YARS.
То есть у тебя
Yeah.
Индикаторы компрометации.
You have the compromise indicator. For example, some domains where it can be located, hash of files, etc., etc., etc. So all the information which is available about the threat, all this information in database is being accumulated in one place, and the whole product chain which protects the XDR solution. Everybody knows about this solution. So it's about 5 products. Yeah, right now we have 5 products. At least there should be one product which can do everything. But it's much better to have a set of solutions which allow you to work on all the stages and prevent. Well, let's speak about the endpoint. Endpoint is a separate category of solutions
антивирусами, правда?
which is called antiviral.
Совсем.
No.
Нужно сначала четко разделить понятие, что
First of all, you have to divide to understand what is EDR and what is antivirus, because functionalities are different. Speaking about the antiviral solution and PP, something that has to be protect you from certain threats. ER rules, compromising indicator that we've been speaking about, and this is something that has certain database and certain rules which help you to discover something. But speaking about EDR,
собирает в том числе
it's a solution which collects telemetric information and can build more complicated reaction schemes to react to those things which are happening on the endpoint, which helps us to discover and describe certain rules which will predict certain threats about which we don't know anything, or maybe the attack has happened, for example, and we have registered the incident, and then we're trying to figure out how was it happening, and then these context and telemetrics that is being collected by EDR in a certain way, we can just process it and understand what really happened. So this is a more
сложная комплексная вещь, чем
complicated thing than a simple antivirus.
То выбирая
Do I properly understand that by selecting a path of XDR,
защиту конечных
which has the protection of the endpoints, laptop, desktops, and servers, we basically speaking are entering new market of endpoint protection. It's a big market which previously was not available to positive technology because there was no solution. Yeah, it's a new niche for us. What is the main reason? Why do we launch XDR?
решение для защиты эндпоинтов это либо
What do we do to protect endpoints? Is it a discovery of a new market?
Вопрос. И как новый рынок, и как степень возможности дать заказчику инструмент.
It's a level of possibility of giving the client the tool about more fast reaction, because traditionally positive technology was making solutions and monitoring and preventive solutions. We didn't have a lot of those solutions, maybe some not solutions. But when we face real attacks on client side, and this is what is being done by our expert center, without reaction on the side of endpoints and service, well, we cannot go without that. And at least analysis of situation, analysis of those tech audits and everything that is happening in the market gives us understanding that in any case we need this solution. And speaking about the product solution and to defend the clients, traditionally it's considered like that. If positive have manufactured the solution, it means it have a niche, and then we can invest in it and we can work with this solution. Well, traditionally it happened like that. For us, this is an innovative market and possibilities for discovery of new technologies and possibility of helping the client in those places where they have not been covered. Do I properly understand you that by entering this market, we share this field with a well-known player, Kaspersky Lab? speaking about Russian.
осваивать
We are not taking the antivirus area. We take our own segment. We find our own segment from the point of view of the solution because the antiviral market, it's an old market. It has
Вирусной защиты.
antiviral protection means, stack certification requirements for different systems, and everybody got used to the fact that
Непреложная гигиена.
this is a necessary hygiene, but EDR component has wider authorities compared to the antiviral system. And by giving this tool in the hands of the client, we give the client the possibility from the point of view of the information security to take over IT infrastructure. So for our
Ниша, потому
ideal clients, it's
хопа, да, ну,
discovered. Well, previously we had to leave the application for the IT, but right now the security person can click the finger and stop attack on his endpoint. Also, would like to add here, because for us XDR, everybody remember our concept that inaccessible events should not be should become impossible, and from this concept, XDR is the main reaction tool, because this is something that allows this concept to be viable. Because in some cases,
реагировать нужно мгновенно.
decision making and reaction should be immediate,
В конкретных участках
ну,
инфраструктуры.
патовая ситуация.
especially in a certain situation, in certain locations when you have to, pull and isolate a certain host and take the attack and fix it right now. And if there is no agent solution which allows you to do that immediately, all this analytical information which helps you to discover it is meaningless.
Ну, то есть технологически обязательно
So technologically, the mandatory component for the concept of inadmissible events. And how complicated this XDR and its components endpoint from the point of view of management and exploitation? Will it be, as everybody got used to, a big console with a number of buttons, or you just create this product as something new? Maybe it's going to be something simple and innovative. Yeah, we are trying to make it as advanced as possible without overcomplicating the consoles, because we also modern SOC has a lot of consoles, and the main objective of the XDR to make it in such a way so that people, analytics, would look into same console, because the main conceptual objective for the XDR is to reduce the number of false positives and reduce time which analytics spend for processing of incidents, because we need to see, understand whether it's false positive, or give them possibility to automated reaction on some basic incidents and cases which can be resolved by the system. And in our XDR, it's very convenient and flexible protection. In less trusted infrastructural zones, you can do that. For every sneeze, there would be a certain response. The active threat reaction. In some other more sensitive zones, you can do it in such a way so that we would collect maximum information, would process it, but do nothing automatically before the person makes a decision.
Если говорить про сложность,
Therefore, speaking about the complication of the product from the point of view of exploitation, it usually depends from the infrastructure
развернуть XDR на
and the personnel, because deployment of the XDR can be done by one smart person.
стараемся делать продукт.
And we are trying to make this product universal for the company of any size, because we understand that it's a big market. There are companies, medium-sized, small-sized companies with small number of employees, and they don't have resources to work with big complex stories which are very cumbersome. But on the other side,
У которых уже свой сок.
there are companies which have their own SOC, their own expertise, their own threat intelligence, etc. And our XDR is very convenient and effective for any type of users, because on one side,
Которая годами была накоплена.
we have some expertise that was accumulated by many of them, and then we have a possibility of extending their products by the expertise, by indicators, by some innovative models, etc., etc. Well, you've been speaking about the market. Let's speak about the market.
ты оцениваешь
How do you evaluate the volume of a need and a future of the XDR market in Russia?
На самом деле большое потребление.
Well, it's a big volume, big consumption market.
Были западные аналоги, которые работали.
Well, we do remember Western analogies. And who was in this category? Who was and who left? Well, by the way, many clients have faced the problem of departure because they are not covered. But they also see the situation that most of Western players were cloud ones, and by disconnecting services in Russia, they cannot manage these agents. So basically speaking, they cannot even delete anything, because if you have rolled out the infrastructure with 100 agents, that's one problem. But when you have 80,000 agents, it's a big scale problem. 80,000 installations in a big network. Yes, when you have the different sub networks, a lot of users, and a lot of players, Palo Alto has left, and Qualys left, and many others who in this segment been taking good niche in the Russian market. And by coming to a certain pilot projects, we do see that functionality of this solution was used previously by the client, and they ask of us to realize and repeat something like that. And also they're asking us, how can we delete these agents? What can we do with them? Because there are two types. After the pandemics of the 2020, all the companies have faced remote operations, total remote operations, when they had to transfer everybody into the remote, and the access to the system should be kept. So they've created a lot of agents to personal notebooks, and right now their company have been divided into personal devices with these agents. They have corporate devices, and it's impossible to delete them, and nothing can be done to them. A new solution cannot be installed because the agent takes the dominating role over the antivirus and other services.
Безопасники просто вот в ситуации,
And security people are in the situation like, guys, help us do something.
кто ушел, я перечислил.
And well, I've listed those who left. Maybe they're going to come back. Maybe they're not going to come back. But the problem is still there, and it has to be solved right now. Well, speaking about the market niche. Well, the market niche in money, or, well, money would be better. It's much more understandable. Well, in money, speaking money-wise, we did do certain analytical research before starting the sales. We did provide a press release, and speaking about the number of requests, it has increased by from 4 or 8 times per week. But now we are in a situation that we have entered this market very fast, and the number of pilot projects every day we have meetings, and we're overloaded. An average funnel for the first quarter in total money is on the level of $500 million, and this is good money, and this is in our funnel. Yes, this is in market expression, and speaking about those clients who've been spending budgets for these solutions, and this is a very good funnel considering the situation that in the course of 3 months we've been trying to show ourselves somehow. So half a billion, it's a funnel that has been formed by us. These are solutions that have been purchased, and or we've been calculating our own money. And what about the total market niche? I think these are dozens of billions of rubles. Yeah, from the point of view of, let's say, movement every year, but we were not able to reach everybody because it still was the short period. But by the new autumn, by the new release, we'll share with the market our success. We'll share our success with the market, and we'll see new numbers, more interesting numbers. Kirill, from the point of view of product readiness, the stage of its development, it's a readiness for beta testing, pilots, implementation, introduction. What do you think, and how do you evaluate it? Well, right now, I would like to tell you that the product is ready for being sold actively because this release happened a couple of weeks ago, and the product has been rolled out on a positive structure, because the positive was the active beta testers. Everything works actively. And speaking about the basic set of products, which is included into the XDR in the first release, and it was the EDR, CM, and the sandbox. And from the point of view of these products, all modules are operational, all integrations are operational, and there are no problems. The product is stable. And step-by-step basis in the roadmap, we have integration with our rest of the portfolio. And in the nearest period, it's going to be integration with CTI platform, as Yegor was speaking about, by the end of this year. It's going to be not an application firewall in the second autumn release. Between them, we will have some minor productions, and for the next year, our SIEM. Do we use cloud connection between XDR with some other clouds? Russian, foreign? Well, in the beginning, because technological platforms have been developed for new technologies, and we do have certain resilience compared to those players who've been doing it before us. And agent solutions and server solutions, we can deploy this solution in any way.
полностью облачная история.
On-premise, hybrid, when you have the pool of products in the cloud and we can assemble and accumulate them. But the question about selecting the client, there are examples, and we have it here and abroad with dozens
Заказчиков с
of clients with a small infrastructure up to 1,000 agents served by 2-3 analytics and one XDR solution.
когда
This is very cool.
в маленьком количестве персонала
When with a small number of people with big analytical platform which allows us to do everything from the phone line to reaction on a specific node, and we include encoding and etc. So it's surprising because previously we didn't have technologies like that.
А в чем еще отличие вот есть технологии?
What is the other difference between the SOAR technology? What is the difference and what is the similarity? And can you tell us about this technology? Well, it's a good question. We've been asked very often because products and classes of solutions, they have common goals and objectives for which they've been developed, because the main mission is to upload SOC analytic and automate the incident reaction in order to achieve certain level of autonomicity of these objectives.
Много различий между этим.
And there's a lot of differences between these products.
Security
SOAR, security, orchestration, automated response, orchestration and automation of the response.
detection.
XDR, extended detection and response. And in these names
Потому что если
is a conceptual difference.
решение, это
Because if we speak about it's an incident response platform, something similar.
здесь мы говорим только про автоматизацию реагирования. То есть
We speak about automation of the reaction. In these solutions, we have certain scenarios of reaction in the playbook. However, we don't have inbuilt tools for these incidents and threats to be discovered. And XDR, from this point of view, has a set of products and solutions and certain
логики и каналов
logic and channels of communication between these products in order for them to work together, because the decision is made in one product and reaction is done in another product, and it has to be directed not only at automation of the reaction but also for the discovery of threats. It allows products to work together using strong sides of each other in order to
делать обнаружение гораздо более
make discovery faster and more effective, because without agents
агентов на конечных точках.
on the endpoints, it's very difficult to verify the attack, especially when we speak about the network attack, which can be detected by application firewall or are not solution. And very often we see situations when, due to the fact that solution looks at the traffic and there is a sign of attack using the hacker instrumentary to check that whether it was a successful attack or not successful attack, you have to go to the workstation that was participating as a victim of this, and we should discover what happened in this station or in application server, speaking about application firewall. And in these cases, availability of the end point client helps us to check the success of the attack, and if nothing bad has happened, not putting the incident by reducing the load against these things.
Концептуально
And the second difference, as a conceptual one, is the speed of reaction. Because if we're speaking about SOAR systems, in order
началось реагирование по какому-то плейбуку.
to start the reaction following certain playbook, the information should be collected from all the sources, worked and correlated, and then it should be delivered to the source solution input, and then it follows the playbook and reaction. But there could be different problems available. For example, logs from some working station have not been delivered because it was not in the corporate network, or maybe some were web accumulated the processing queue, and it creates certain delays. In this case, this could be very critical. And if we are speaking about XDR, with the help of the agent, we can react to something that happens at the working station at the endpoint at this moment of time, even being disconnected from corporate network.
Агент возложен определенный функционал.
Because the agent has a certain functionality which can be executed offline, locally, and then in such a case, in the CM, we are going to see not a new incident, but the fact that XDR worked, the threat has been removed. And the final question I have to you, Igor.
XDR это же достаточно
XDR
не молодой и
is not a young technology,
конкурентный.
very competitive market.
Что
Why do you think that Positive will be able to get established on this market?
И как-то
We were always able to get established in the markets. And speaking about analytics,
вернувшись немного назад,
Coming back to the past a little bit, we've been working with a lot of different companies. We know their points of application, we know their pain points, etc. So when we create solutions, traditional solutions and positive, it's based on analytics before the entrance to the market, because we cannot take and make some solution which
я хочу классифицировать.
the client said, well, I would like to classify documents or something like that. And we are just going to go and move in this direction. No, we are evaluating possibilities of realization, then how it's going to work together with the clients, which functions will be used, and then we add our expertise that was collected in 20 years of existence from all the solutions.
Маленького брата Xpider до
From Xpider, small brother, to global CM systems. That's why by making these solutions, we are confident in this market, and we're confident in our expertise that will be given, that will help, that will be able to react quickly and push the competitors if they are available. If there are no competitors, we will take the niche.
Что ж,
Thank you for the interview. So XDR is a new solution which Positive Technologies introduces to the market in this year, in the course of this year. Right now, it's in the stage when we are ready to provide it to the clients, and there's multiplicity of reports, and people promise that we have commercial sales in the course of this year,
уже состоятся.
and they will be able to work. Without this solution,
Технологический комплекс.
technological complex of protection, which allows us to make inadmissible to become impossible. It's not going to be full, because we need class of solutions which provide collection of the information from the end devices, from the endpoints, laptops, desktops, and servers. And this is the main reason why Positive Technologies developed such a solution. And along the way, it helps us to enter
Достаточно большой.
very big market segment.
Желаю вам
And I wish you
активно в этот сегмент входить.
to enter this segment, because this is a new solution for you, and you will have a new opinion about this category. And with the confidence that Igor was speaking about, why not? Everything should work out. Thank you very much. Thank you.